Good morning, everyone. It's most of me here. Gary Ryan here with the Fed League Flash, and this is Saturday, October 7th, meaning we are less than a week away from the opening game of the regular season, and just 3 more days until the first game, which is the exhibition game between Elmira and Watertown. All right, continuing my series on team capsules that I'm doing. Um, been doing this on Spotify. If you want to go back and check out Danbury, Watertown, Elmira, and or Binghamton, those are posted on Spotify. Go to Spotify, download it if you haven't already, and check for the Fed League Flash. And those first four team capsules are there. Now, the objective with the team capsule is not necessarily to make a bold prediction. It is just to give you an idea. Uh, this, like what we have here, is a good idea of what the roster may look like when we get to the opening game of the season. However, as we've seen, things happen, call ups mainly. This is not definitely what the roster is going to be like. Okay, I am not Coach Brown for the Rockers, nor do I pretend to be. This is just my personal look at, okay, if I was putting together this team based on the roster that is listed right now, this is what we go with. All right, and I use, for argument's sake, a 10-4-3 formula, meaning 10 forwards, 7 defensemen, 2 goaltenders for the roster, the finalized roster. Now, not every team's going to do that. Some teams may opt to carry 3 goaltenders. Some may say, I'd like to do 11 and 6, 12 and 5. Yeah, every team's going to be a little bit different. This is just my perspective, and I'm using a template, so to speak, to give you an idea of what we are looking at. So, yes, Coach Gordon Brown returns. He and the Rockers, at least most of the Rockers, return. We'll start off with a note down. Well, I don't have it listed here. Yeah, actually, I do. I'm sorry. Okay, we will list the people who currently are inactive and on loan. Trevor Babin, of course, it's been pretty well documented. He is in Kalamazoo at the ECHL, one of 6 Fed players to be in camp in the ECHL. So that's awesome. We're seeing a lot of great talent come through the Fed. Nicholas McGill Diaz, as far as I can tell, the SPHL transaction site is squirrely. I believe he is in Quad Cities camp, but information in the SPHL right now is very sketchy. Tommy Cardinal, he is playing in the LNAH. He's already started his season. He most likely will not be returning. Charlie Bedard and Derek Makama also are somewhere in the SPHL, somewhere in the nether regions. And so once we find out exactly who they are in camp with, we'll post that on Facebook. All right. So the big loss here, obviously, is Trevor Babin. And we're very, very excited for his opportunity. It's well earned. But yeah, that's a big piece of the team missing going into the year. Of course, we don't have any guarantees on if Babin is going to stick with Kalamazoo or not. He's got the potential to. So we're going to kind of proceed with the assumption that Babs is in the ECHL for good. He's earned a spot there. All right, so in goal you have Blake Scott, who was there last year and has proven himself to be a good backup. This will be his first opportunity, pretty much being the de facto number 1. At least to begin the season. So we will see how that works out. Now, the other two goalies in camp, Ricardo Gonzalez, who played a few games last year, and then Eli Bowers, who signed over the summer. Bowers comes in very highly regarded, very highly touted, so I think he is probably more likely than not going to have an edge over Gonzalez. That's not dissing Gonzalez. Gonzalez can play in the Fed; he's proven it. But I just have a feeling that Bowers is going to be the number two. Now, on defense, this is a great. Well, actually, the whole team is really very steady, very reliable. You don't have any superstars on this team, but the team plays together as a unit, probably better than anyone else in the Fed. You're not going to see, huge gaudy numbers from anybody, but these guys all tie in together. They have a great system set up. Got them to the playoffs last year, and they gave Carolina a run for their money. So, yeah, with Babin in goal, but even without Babin in place, I think this team can really make some potential noise going into the playoffs. Now, the newcomer is Doug Blazell, who played last year in the SP. That's a great addition to this defensive core. I have not heard word on if Josh Colton has re-signed with the team. That would be, I think he's a very vital part of the Blue Line group. It's kind of strange that with people like Scott Brand and Nick Foles running the show, you'd think there would be a little bit more communication. But the Rockers have been pretty quiet over the summer on social media, but that does not mean that nothing's been happening. Quite the contrary. They have things pretty well shored up. So what we're looking at here, this is what they got. They even the people that are in black, those are people who are in camp on the roster. So they've got enough pieces and enough players, and there's going to be a good competition for some positions. Anyway, getting back to the defense, Dante Suffredini's back. He was kind of the quarterback for the power play. You can imagine if Blaisdell and Suffredini get paired up, that is quite a defensive tandem. Also coming back, Tim Perks, Ryan Rotondi, and then at this point, you have Jameson Malam. I was surprised to find out that Malam was coming back, but ageless wonder. But he can give you good third pairing minutes, very, very steady, and he can find a way of providing that clutch goal or clutch assist. So now the other two players in camp that I feel are going to be fighting it out for like a seventh defensive spot would be Zach Huggins, who played a couple games last year, and Mike Wynn. So we will see exactly how the lineup pairs up. But in my opinion, the players that are in red are most likely going to be your starters. And then you go to the forwards group. There's not a whole lot of change from last year. There are a couple people missing, particularly Makima and Cardinal. But you look up and down this list, it's a pretty solid group. The closest thing you have to superstars on this team is the duo of Scott Coash and Declan Conway. They were obviously the two biggest point getters on the team last year. I think that will be the case again this year. But the whole team, again, it's a unit. It really is. And even after you get that first line off the ice and onto the bench, there's no guarantee you're going to be able to shut down the second or third lines because everybody plays really well together. So um, this is not necessarily the lines. It's just the 10 forwards that I think you're going to see: Koash, Conway, Roman Gaudette returning, Jonathan Giuliano. Yeah, he's back. He's going to be helping out with assistant coaching as well. But yeah, he's playing again. Giuliano is a very experienced veteran who provides a lot of great leadership. And yeah, he's not the scorer that he used to be, but he can still produce. So he's coming back. Dylan Johnson, he played a handful of games last year. I think he has earned himself a starting role. Um, Cade Lambden is back. Michael Mann, this is the newcomer. He comes in from Watertown. Um, Mann is a very very gritty player. Um, does a great job mucking and grinding in the corners. He's one of those guys that don't get a ton of points, but he does the small things very very well. Attention to detail is the hallmark of his game. So it's a great addition. Brad Ryder's back. Uh, Big Sexy. Got to have somebody collecting cans. Elias Thompson, yes, he's back. And so is Danny Vanderweel. Okay, now you have a lot of players here. Rocco DiCostanzo, Pavel Grishin, Joey Lake, Clay Hightower, who just got picked up. You have Philip Lapkov, Francis Moore, Pavel Stintsov, and Daniil Yakimchuk. Sorry, I knew I was going to butcher his name. Yakimchuk. They're all battling for a position. It may very well be that these guys end up earning themselves those 4-game contracts. I think Hightower and Moore probably have the edge as far as being on the team, but again, that's only my perspective. All right, so, but yeah, you got 8 guys fighting for a spot that may not be there with these other 10 guys. There may not be room on the roster. Or, again, if Brown decides to go with 11 forwards, well, then one of these guys could very well earn themselves a place on the 19-man roster. So you look at things, and okay, overall, it's a very veteran team. There's a lot of experience on this team. There's not a whole lot of rookies or youth. Of course, nobody's old in the Fed, except for maybe like Joe Pace and Dustin Henning. But uh, nonetheless, uh, very veteran group, very experienced group, solid defense. Um, the forwards play well defensively, very responsibly. Great 200-foot game by the whole team. Um, and there's a lot of secondary scoring that is available. The only question really is, can they overcome the loss of not having Trevor Babin there? Um, I think they can. I have them pegged as probably finishing third in the Continental behind Carolina and Columbus, but you never know. We will see. So that is my initial look at Motor City. Let me know what you think. Rockers fans, comment down below. Let me know what you think about the team this year. Leave a comment. Make sure to hit like and subscribe as well. Tomorrow, we are going to look at Motor City's opposition, the first couple games, and that is the Port Huron Prowlers. And we will see what their chances may look like, what their roster may look like. Port Huron's been another team that hasn't made a whole lot of noise on social media, so we will see how things go. But I think Matt Graham also has things handled pretty well. All right, thank you so much for watching, and we will again get into Port Huron, and then next Monday through Wednesday we'll do some more looking ahead, also previewing and then reviewing the expansion game the exhibition game between Watertown and Elmira. So stay tuned for that. All right, I'm Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. Thank you so much for watching. Keep your head up. Keep your stick on the ice. Be excellent to each other.